Welcome, Rebels, to the Rebel Podcast. The very first time we're going to try something like this. Of course, I'm Judge B, Jonathan Belmar. We have two guests up here. We're going to have three, but due to technical issues, one person couldn't make it. So everyone, let's introduce ourselves real quick. I'm Judge B. Who else is here? Mr. Brian.
I am Brian McNair, aka Kyo, or Bry King Bowser, as everybody knows me. Fresh admin to Redux. What's up, guys?
Camille.
Okay, I'm Camille. I kind of ghost on Redux. I don't really say much. Sometimes, occasionally, I post, but not too much. I just go by Camille, but I guess on the internet I'm Samurai Pizza Kitten. So that's me. I'm mostly a cosplayer, but I do dabble in some other things. I obviously have nerdy tastes since I'm here. So yeah.
I'm loving the pompadour. So this is going to be the first. So this is gonna be the first Revelcast or Rebel podcast, whatever we're gonna call it. Anyway, what we're gonna talk about tonight, tonight, whatever. People don't know what time it is. What we're gonna talk about today is something that's kind of touchy to all Black people, especially those who are into cosplay. Is being compared to being the Black version of something instead of just being that version. I bring this up. I bring this up because in the group, someone posted a post of two people being Jesse and James from Team Rocket. And they satirized it by, saying there's Jessino or just kind of weird, stereotypical Black names.
Wow.
And it's like, they're not trying to be these Black versions of these people. They're trying to be these characters because they love it so much.
Right.
But
Yeah.
instead of doing that, they simply satirize them.
I kind of can talk on that point a little bit. I don't want to talk about who it is exactly, but I do know the girl. She's a Black cosplayer and she has a husband, and she was actually really offended by the post because she did the cosplay a few years back and she, put a lot of work into it, and then to see on the internet that people were calling them like the nigga version of Team Rocket or whatever, it was kind of like, it hurt her. And so we kind of had a little bit of discussion in one of our Facebook groups about it and things like that. And it just really got to me because I'm a cosplayer, I'm a Black cosplayer, and I say I'm a Black cosplayer with pride because there's not that many of us and we have to stick together. But it bothers me when people are like, you're the Black version of that character. Like, you can just see me for who I am, who I'm trying to portray, not my skin color,
Mm.
So it's really aggravating, and I've had that struggle a lot. I could talk on this probably for quite some time, but I've had that struggle a lot. I didn't even get into cosplay at first because I was worried about what the internet would say, and I was younger, of course, and you get on the internet and stupid websites like 4chan or any blog, different kinds of blogs and different types of websites and stuff like that. Sometimes you can be a little bit self-hating, especially when you're like a young, nerdy Black kid. You don't know what you're doing on the internet. You just see other people making fun of you, so you can't accept yourself kind of thing. Sometimes that happens, at least. And so I didn't want to get into cosplay at first because I thought, none of these characters look like me, except for Yoruichi. There's plenty of brown characters, but I was just like, I'm not sure. Oh, Black Rose. I used to love Black Rose from Dot Hack or whatever, but I was just like, I'm not sure I want to do this. And then I just kind of swallowed my whatever I was feeling and just went for it. And I found a really, really great accepting community of other minority cosplayers. But there's always haters on the internet, but I'm just like, screw them. So.
Brian?
Honestly, I've always wanted to get into cosplay myself, but the number one thing that gets me is, like she was saying, people who want to run their mouths, people who don't want to accept the fact that you are cosplaying a character who might not exactly be African American or what have you. I actually told Rain, that I wanted to cosplay as, like a Super Saiyan, like Goku, Gohan, one of them. I know there's an abundance of them. However, none of them, are, brown in skin color. So, with that being said, I was kind of discouraged from doing it because I've seen more often than not people will look at you and say, "Oh, you're the Black Goku, you're the Black Gohan," and I feel like it limits the potential of those who not only want to get into cosplay, but those who may want to watch anime itself. A lot of people they watch shows and there are strong ethnicities in some of them, some more than others, and as far as anime goes, Japanese people, well, I won't say that it's the fault of every single one of them, but there are quite a few who give us that stereotypical look in anime. There are some examples, like I can't even come with them off the top of my head like right now, but if you look around, just look at any anime that has like a black character, it kind of makes you want to make you step back from the whole genre itself.
Now, on that, I'm gonna have to kind of disagree with that. It's just one thing you have to understand is that Japanese people, while not everyone, the entire society itself is kind of xenophobic. They don't really like outsiders. Period. So
Really?
when they do any type of character that's not Japanese culture, they always do some weird stuff with it. Like every anime I've ever seen to where it's fully black, when it's fully Asian people, all of a sudden you introduce that one white person, they're always blue-eyed. Blue-eyed, blonde, and full of themselves. They always do that.
Right. I mean, I've seen, like, I guess I have not looked into their culture to that, I guess to that depth, because I do love the culture, but I guess like that would be one thing that would kind of put a dent in it for me. But I love anime, and I'm not the type of person to, your opinion is your opinion, but as far as like the whole, going back to the black cosplay, I think it would benefit everyone if we would just, kind of step back and take a look at it. Like, hey, there's the clothes, there's the character when you step in character, when you're around others, and there's the quality of the cosplay itself. Mine's got to be my skin color. I can't change that. Look at my attire, look at my, my weapon or my accessory. I think that should be the main focal point of it. Nothing else.
And I hate to admit this, but I was actually guilty of something like that not so long ago. Back when I was in college, when I first met some people who were cosplayers, they're really cool. They were into One Piece. I was into One Piece. Like, okay, cool. I want to cosplay someone that's from One Piece. And one of the running jokes they always say is like, yeah, you can be the Black Frankie. You can be Blanky. And like. Back then, I didn't see as much of an issue. It's like, okay, yeah, it's like that. Back then, I didn't see much of an issue. It's like, yeah, I'm Black Frankie, whatever. I'm gonna be Frankie, and I love Frankie. I still do to this day. But later on down the line, I started noticing, like, that's kind of fucked up. Why can't I just be Frankie? Why can't I be? Because there's a big giant meme out there right now for Nigga Moon, apparently, and it's like, don't get me wrong, a grown man dressed in Sailor Moon cosplay is an issue for me. Whatever you want to do is your thing, but no. To the point that even from there, I even went to that exact same convention that we all went to. We found a Yuna who was black. She had guns, everything. She looked really, really good, and they kept calling her Bluna. I was like,
like why?
She's Yuna. Why can't it just be blue? Why is it blue? She's not blue. What's going on here? Eventually, I'm still friends with those people somewhat. I don't hang out with them because they're either in Beaumont or one of them went to California or something like that. But even now to this day, I can't stand that anymore because even like I'm still planning it, but I don't know when the hell I'm going to do it. I do plan on cosplaying a really, 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 really white character and still be in my regular color, and that's Ginkgo from Mushishi. Like, every anime I've ever seen besides Ghost, he is the whitest thing I've ever seen. But I love the character, and I love the accessories he has, and I love the way he looks and what he stands for. So eventually I'm going to cosplay him. I'm going to get the white hair too, but I'm not going to change my skin color for it.
Oh, man. I know that's going to turn a few heads. Like, is that... Are you sure? Maybe?
Yeah, probably.
They're probably going to call me Blinky or something.
Oh. I mean, I'll say wear it proud, man. If you do, as long as you do it justice, if I can look at an image on Google and then I can look at you, and I see that like everything is spot on from like a weapon you might be carrying to like right down to the buttons or the detail on the buttons of the shirt or a coat, the ruffles in the clothing. Hey, you got it. Like that's all that matters to me. So
now, Camille, you're the cosplaying veteran here in this group right now. So tell us about the experience that you had. Like, did someone ever actually walk up to you and say, oh, you're the black version of this, or you're something like this, or it's like, you can't do this character, you're black. Has anything like that ever happened?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
A few times. Like people, you think that people aren't going to be that bold in real life, but then they are, because on the internet you can hide behind anonymity and just say whatever, but when you're in real life and someone walks up to you, you're just kind of shocked. I was Princess Bubblegum, and they're like, oh my god, your skin tone looks so good with all of that. You're the greatest black bubblegum I've ever seen. And I just I kind of cocked my head to the side and just looked at her. And then I turned around and I went back to my conversation, whoever I was talking to, because I was like, that really just happened.
Okay.
But then on the flip side,
how old were they? Were they someone around your age, or was it just a young person?
you know what? I'm gonna say it's a young person because I'm really bad at deciphering ages at this point, because really, really young looking people can be like 27 years old at conventions, and then really old ass looking people can be like 19. So like convention ages are really hard for me to pinpoint sometimes. But I'm gonna say she was in her teens to 20s, so she should have known better.
Right.
But yeah. But I was gonna say on that I've done another Adventure Time character. I was Fiona, but I embraced my blackness, I guess, by just doing my own hair color instead of the blonde, because I mean, I just thought it was going to be cute. Like I've seen, like race bent versions of characters or whatever, and I saw Fiona with like brown skin and brown hair, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to use a black wig because my hair was curly at the time and it didn't go with the hat or something like that. So I was just like, you know what, I'm going to put a black wig on. And people loved that. They were just like, oh my God, you look so great. I could tell exactly who you are, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, I understand them liking my costume. It wasn't like amazing, but it was pretty good. But I felt like they felt that they had to go out of the way to say something because I was doing the version of the character that they knew to be black or whatever. And I'm just like, it's almost a lose-lose situation sometimes, but you just have to push through it.
Mm. Now, here's so flip side of this coin, okay? Recently, something came out for Halloween that was really, really horrible that people have been doing. Yes, we're going to talk about this. We're going to have to talk about it because we got to see it from both sides of the thing. We're going to be cosplaying people of a different color. Can white people do the exact same thing without being racist? Now, there's a difference between cosplaying someone who is a different color and blackface.
Okay.
Different.
I am probably not the best person to talk about this right now because I've seen so many fights on Facebook in the last week, and I guess last summer, my whole blog, like a couple of my friends, all we talked about was this brown face, black face issue within the cosplay community and then actual black facing. Okay, I just want to say something. I understand that putting black makeup on your face, like the minstrels did back in the 1920s, to caricaturize black people was wrong. I know that. I hate that. All of us hate that and stuff like that. And I understand that that's not the same thing as people changing their skin tone to match a character like Cora, but I still do not agree with changing your skin tone for whatever reason unless you're just tanning yourself with a natural tan light outside in the sun. I do not agree with changing your skin tone because I do not have the luxury of just, rubbing off my blackness at any time and slapping on some white paint and being like, okay, well, today I'm going to be Asami because she's fair-skinned instead of Cora. I do not have the luxury at the end of the day to wipe off my skin tone when I feel like it because I want to become somebody else outside of cosplay. I shouldn't be able to do it in cosplay. So I do not agree with a white person darkening themselves to be a dark character for the sake of cosplay unless it's a natural thing that occurs, some tanner or tan in the sun or whatever. I do not agree with people rubbing brown paint on themselves trying to pass as a brown character. That's all I'm going to say. If people don't agree with it, it's fine. But I just want to let my point be known because I've argued with this so many times, people, and instead of respecting my opinion, they just push it off as, oh, she's that crazy black girl who has to talk about racism all the time. And I'm like, you know what? Because I have the courage to say something that I didn't before, because I used to brush, racism off because, that's how you keep friends or whatever. I'm not going to do that anymore. If something offends me, I'm going to let somebody know. So that's my bit. I'm sorry that I stole the mic. I'm gonna drop it now and I'm gonna run. But that's how I feel.
The only time I will ever accept blackface of any type of ways if you either cosplaying Jinx or Popo. Only two people you are allowed to do that for. Why? Because it's part of their character.
Dark Link is
Dark Link is awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
I wouldn't even,
yeah.
and
Can't fuck with Dark Link.
Dark Link isn't really it really isn't blackface, mostly because he doesn't have the pink lips, while Jinx and Popo do. I want to. I will allow. I will. I'm saying a lot like everyone has a choice in the way. That's the only ones I would accept is that if you're doing those two characters, because one, if you're doing Jinx, you got some balls to come as a transgender Pokemon whatever thingy that no one knows what it is, and Mr.
Nobody.
Popo. Since Team 4-Star came around, Mr. Popo's cool now. So if you want to cosplay Mr. Popo, if you want to cosplay him, by all means do it. Just make sure you do it right. Those are the two people that are allowed that you can do. I don't care any race can do it as long as those two characters. Anything else is just kind of it's racist. It's inherently racist. No matter how you say like, no, I'm not trying to be that way. I'm not trying to be racist. Like I understand what you're trying to say, but you don't understand what's behind that. What's the reason why we're upset by that? That shit's happened. And it's still, no matter how long ago it was, it still hurts to this day because even now we're still being made fun of. All TV that's online has to do with black people, period. It's just showing a stereotypical type of black person, so everyone thinks you're just like that. So doing that into cosplay where we see equality in everything is an issue. So I understand you're not trying to be racist, but you are being racist. It's inadvertent racism.
And people are... Okay, it's racially insensitive. People are afraid of the word racism. They're afraid of being called racist. But you know what's worse? Being on the other side of that. So if somebody calls you out, accept it and be done with it and try and change your behavior. That's all I'm saying.
Like, honestly, I'm of the same opinion, to be honest. I mean, I feel like if you want to cosplay the character, cosplay them. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be so complicated as... honestly, it's not even worth it in my opinion. You know, because you not only do you face, you know, the increased effort of having to, you know, model yourself after the character right down to the skin tone, but what if you go to a con? What if you get to the convention and there are those who love it and there are those who hate it? There are those who, you know, look at you, stare at you just a little bit longer. Those who actually are willing to approach you and say something about it. Avoid the hassle. Avoid, you know, all that type of conflict. I say this time and time again. You know, if it's worth it, you know what I'm saying? If it involves like, you know, just a neutral party, fine, go for it. Make the extra effort. But if it's gonna, you know, corrode the experience itself, if you're gonna look at other people and you have to think or you have to pick and choose your battles, it's not worth it, especially in this day and age. People act like racism is not present, but it is. People act like, you know, nobody's gonna get offended, nobody's gonna have something to say, nobody will even physically do something, but they will. You know, so don't take it that far. You know, and me, I'm, you know, darker than your average. I mean, obviously, but if I want to cosplay anyone, if I want to do anything, then, you know, by all means, I will do it. And you don't have to bury who you are. You don't have to bury, you know, your skin color, or if somebody asks you, what's your ethnicity? You know, where are you from? Don't bury it. Just, you know, just be honest and be straightforward with it. Be forthcoming. You know, as long as, you know the saying, you got to give respect to get it. Right. So I feel like just be you, you know. And honestly, I'm kind of jaded from the experience because I don't know if you guys saw, but there was someone who actually went as Trayvon Martin.
That broke my heart.
Yeah. Let's you know what? Hold on, let's stop.
Okay.
Right here, we know. We're all in agreement. It's bad. Let's not even.
Like, that's all I'm gonna say on that note. That's why I'm jaded because of that, and I'll
horrible.
Leave it at that.
It's it. Like that's a whole other podcast we can go into, but it's a horrible thing. It was stupid. It's done. Yeah. Now going back to painting the thing. Now the only time I would also allow paint, I would be okay with painting because I'm gonna do it too. One of my characters I really do love is Zelgadas from Slayers.
Nice.
And I would love to go, but I don't have to worry about it because it's blue paint. It's not black. It's not black paint. So it's different colors. Like besides black, it's fine and dandy. You just don't do that. It's just plain and simple. Just don't do that.
Right.
So.
I mean, I've painted myself gray for Homestuck troll characters, and I plan to paint myself pink in the future. Oh, hush. In the future for my more Princess Bubblegum costumes, and I'm probably going to do that a lot. So, I mean, as long as it's a color that doesn't exist as a skin tone in the world, you should be fine.
Right.
No, I'm stuck.
Okay. To be honest, that was 2.5 years ago, and I stopped reading Homestuck quite some time ago. Not because I didn't enjoy the content, but because the fandom was getting a little too much for me, and it was just kind of becoming stressful, so I just stopped. But we're not going to go into that, okay? I still love Homestuck.
Okay, we're not going to go into Homestuck, but I wouldn't let talk about fandom real quick, because there is some fandom out there that is ridiculous, that it just gets to a point, like, you love something, but then you start noticing it's fans, and then you hate it, because the fans make it so much worse.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I would say Homestuck did for me. I mean, it almost became like I visit the microblogging website Tumblr a lot, and it almost became like Homestuck was like politics, like people discussing it. It was just like rampant arguing, and like this the fandom likes this and this likes that, and it was just so many different things going on, and I was just like, I just need to take a step back from this because this is too much. My goodness.
One of the craziest things that I experienced with fandom is back in college, I was part of the anime club. I was actually president, and I started to just try to spread things out a bit to where, instead of just watching single animes all the time, let's just do different things. So I think like every third or second Thursday, because we met every Thursday, we watch a shoujo anime, because not a lot of people, we never watch shoujo because a whole bunch of shonen people were there and not a lot of girls. So it's like, okay, we'll do a shoujo. So we put on Ouran Who's High School Club.
Right.
Hey, say what you want. Me personally, I love that anime. It was great.
Anime.
It's nice.
It was great. But what was happening was that they had these two girls up in the back who were complete fans of Honeysuka Senpai.
Oh my god. I
can't believe I actually said his entire name like that. And every time he got on the screen, went, Honeysuka, she's so cute, kawaii. Like, every single time he came on, they did that. And it got to a point like people were leaving because of them. And I told, okay, if you guys do that one more time, I'm turning this anime off because you're disturbing everyone. I don't care if you love this character so much, stop it. And it even affected me. Even though I was enjoying the anime a lot, I didn't want to watch the rest of it because all I could think of was, Honeysuka Senpai, so it's like, okay. Later on, when I left college and I got around to it on Netflix, I watched the entire thing and I loved it. Didn't like the ending because it had ended before the manga, but it was great. So fandoms can in fact destroy liking anything. Why I haven't even tried. It's one of the reasons I haven't even tried My Little Pony.
The bronies. Okay. Brian, are you a brony, or do you like My Little Pony? I mean,
I like some elements of it. I don't watch the series like on the norm. However, I will say that Rainbow Dash, I can relate to that character because I feel like Rainbow Dash has like a certain arrogance and the way that they carry themselves, like all in a group, with Rainbow Dash being, I'm the fastest. I can do it. No problem. I don't need your help. I think that's about as far as it goes. But anything else, I feel like it's a little much. Because who it's meant for, let it be meant for them. And I think the bronies, as they call themselves, I think they just do it because it's a fad. I don't like bandwagons, so the fact that they jump on and like, oh my gosh, I love the entire show. You don't buy the merchandise, you don't buy the shirts, and I can understand some people do, but that's because well, I do know a guy. He's homosexual, so of course he likes it, which I can understand. But I have friends who are average Joes, normal guys, who praise and worship what's the Twinkie, or Pinkie Pie, whatever the character's name is, and like Applejack or something. He worships those characters. I'm like, that's not real. Like, be for real. I can't stand bandwagons. Period. Attack on Titan, I hated the bandwagon. What's that show, Ruby? RWBY?
Mm-hmm.
People bandwagoning that too. Oh my god, it's the greatest show ever. It wouldn't go that far. But, I understand they're great, but don't let the fandom get to you. Don't get pulled into that wave of overlooking, things just because you love it so much, But
you kind of stepped on a landmine there just a bit. I understand. I respect your opinion, but that comment about gay people, of course, would love My Little Pony.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's. I was
that
like, what
landmine was kind of.
I don't know if you guys could see my facial
I
expression,
could.
but
I
I
could.
was like, uh,
Yeah.
don't
Okay.
say that homosexuality is not normal. That's
Oh no 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 no! No. I
sounding
wasn't
like
saying it's
what you
not
were.
normal. I was saying like as far as him liking the show, it was more understandable for him because as far as like manly things like there are some who have that manly role, and there are some who it varies. But for him, knowing his personality, that's where I was saying that it's understandable for him.
Okay, we'll just leave it at that. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
we'll just
Okay.
leave that there. But yes, only thing I know about My Little Pony is the Sonic Rain Boom, which was kind of awesome, and the only reason why I know about it is because somebody put the Guile theme behind it, and I thought that was great.
Oh god.
Guile
Okay.
theme song. So
Can
yeah,
I
that
talk
was.
about
It
My
was
Little Pony
everything.
and
Oh yes, go ahead.
cosplay? Because okay, I enjoyed My Little Pony a lot. I watched the first two seasons and I loved it. My favorite character was Twilight Sparkle, followed by Rarity. Those were my two favorite ponies, and I enjoyed the show just as much as I guess any of my other friends. I collect the merchandise. I have all the crystal ponies and I have all the little blind bag ponies that there are. That was, I guess, over a year ago when I stopped collecting them. The reason that I got out of the fandom is strictly because I wouldn't even call myself a part of the fandom. I was just an enjoyer of the show, and I liked the merchandise because it's cute horses and about friendship, and it was a good show, and I enjoyed it with my friends. The reason why I left, don't want anything to do with it anymore, is strictly because of the bronies. The bronies are more than I could even imagine as far as like crazy. Like I hate lumping people together like that, but I've never seen such a like just demented fandom. I did a Twilight Sparkle cosplay earlier in 2012, and somehow it made it onto some Pony Boru website, which is like
Wow.
I guess, an image sharing website, and the comments on there were atrocious. It was like, I didn't know Twilight was supposed to be black, and like, a lot of like inward comments and things like that, and like, oh, of course she chooses the character who's the purple pony because purple black people and all this kind of stuff, and it was too
Wow.
much. Like I was upset, like I was in tears upset, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let this go or whatever. And then somehow I got onto 4chan as well, and so like there was like comments on there, and then it was on Tumblr, and there were like thousands of comments on there, and it became too much for me to deal with. So I stopped seeking it out, but people would show me things all the time. But I mean, the hate most definitely outweighed the good. There were people who said nice comments and things like that and were defending me and were like, are you all sick, crazy, and racist? Like, is there something wrong with you? Because I don't understand why you care about her cosplaying a humanized version of a character. You have no idea what race she would be like if she were a human character and not a horse. If she were a horse, she would paint herself purple, all that kind of stuff, that's fine. But she did a humanized version. So why are you saying anything about her skin tone? Because you have no idea what race or ethnicity this pony would be. And it just got out of control. It was like way too much for me to even fathom dealing with at all. I was just like, all I did, somebody snapped some like random haul shot of me last year at a convention, and then it blew up from there. And so the bronies to me like represent everything that I do not want to even seek out in a fandom. It's racist, misogynist, sexist, just ableist, disgusting behavior that people should not partake in. Like, why are you taking it to that extent? I do not know. It's just, thinking about it makes me upset. But
Well,
yeah, so
let's just put the disclaimer in there too. We don't mean all bronies. There are some people out there, some males who watch My Little Pony who aren't like that. We'll get that.
that's what I was saying. Like, I
Yeah.
don't like lumping people together like that,
Right.
Mhm.
but it never like experienced a fandom where it was so concentrated, so much concentrated hate on different things than what they like to see in their head about the horses. Like you can go on any YouTube video, My Little Pony YouTube video, and see disgusting comments underneath it because the bronies are crazy. Like some bronies are crazy. So I don't deal.
Speaking of the crazy thing, like, I actually, I'm not sure if it was an article I read or I heard on the radio, which is really if I word on the radio. This person actually I read it, there we go. This person wanted to sue somebody because they drew pornographic images of the horse, which My Little Pony hentai makes absolutely no sense to me. He wanted to sue them because he married her and he's taking his wife and doing things her she shouldn't do. It's like, you married a fictional character? Like, apparently whatever state he was in, the pastor allowed it? Yeah. Somehow he married a trademark. And
I heard about that.
He wanted to sue the person for doing that. Of course, the case got thrown out because you can't marry a fictional character. But that's one of the crazy things I see with My Little Pony. Granted, you know, we do have some anime fans who are also like that too, especially that video that everyone saw about that dude and the body pillow thing.
Oh yeah, Mad Thad.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, there's actually rumor about people adding him to the group just to talk bad about him.
He's in jail. Like, he's banned from. Actually, like, I've seen stuff on. I think he got out like sometime earlier this fall or whatever, but he's not allowed online. Like, period. He's not. He was in jail for like entire year and a half. So for child pornography.
Wow.
Wait, child. Who was the child?
Oh, he had child. No. He had child pornography on his laptop computer. He had thousands and thousands upon images and like videos and things like that. And so he was found out and went to jail for a year and a half.
Wow.
That's
yeah.
Look him up. Like, Google Mad Thad, and he's got a whole Wikipedia page. His YouTube page is still up, and you can look at his previous videos and things like that.
Not.
Like,
I read that. No.
It's
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Wow. So yes, let's just say that sometimes fandoms can get completely out of control.
Yeah.
That body video. I can't even say the words. Disgusting.
Let's turn on to something a little different now. It is.
Let me shout out the Black Super Saiyan. I forget his name, but him and his power-up videos.
Oh my god.
Okay, we shouldn't be laughing. Come on, everyone who's a Dragon Ball Z fan has in fact tried that. I want to say that real quick. Every time my parents went out and my brother wasn't there, I tried it. It didn't work. I didn't record it and post it online.
When he threw the shirt on?
Threw the shirt off.
Good job. Well, let's go for a laugh at least. You know.
Camille, were you that big of a fan that you actually tried turning Super Saiyan?
Okay. I might have tried something like that, and I might have had, like, you know, I didn't actually purchase any of the Dragon Balls, but I had these, like, orange balls in my room that I drew stars on myself, and I would just, like, hold on to them hoping that I was a weird child. Let's just.
I've done that. I've done the Super Saiyan thing. Excuse me. And I also did something else too when I was really big into it, and I'm really sad where it is right now. But Naruto, favorite character, Rock Lee. I tried opening the gates.
Really? Nice. I want somebody to hold a contest to see who does like the best, you know, charging up or opening gates. I would pay to see that.
How much would you pay the special effects able to go in there?
I think that'd be worth like a good $30-$40. Gotta have some good content though.
And Brian admitted at one time you tried to go Super Saiyan, release the gates, Kaioken, whatever you want to call it, didn't you?
My one experience like with trying to do anything like anime related was trying to do like like the hand signs to flip through and hoping like a fireball would come up in my palm. But as crazy as it was, I kept trying. Like, how do you? Some way it's got to release spiritual energy, you know, that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna one up you on that one. I was so into Naruto back then that I recorded the scene where Kakashi and Zabuza were doing the water dragon jutsu. Recorded that, memorized each and every sign, and did all of them, and nothing happened.
Oh my god.
I was a weird child. I will never do it again.
Oh man.
even in my senior picture, like our big group of student senior picture, they said do whatever you want. I did Shikamaru's little thing.
Nice.
I was a weird child. I'm just gonna admit that I was bad. I was bad. So we're gonna wrap this up with one last thing. Since it's about to be Thanksgiving, and we're about to do all the thing. Let's just say what anime we're gonna be thankful for, because I'm not sure we're gonna do this again before Thanksgiving. So let's try to do it. See, what anime are you thankful for, Camille, if you will?
Okay, well, let's talk about current season anime then. I'm thankful for Kill la Kill. It has, I don't know, just restored my faith in anime, and I really love Gurren Lagann. And so just to know that, there's kind of a Gainax feel from Studio Trigger or whatever, and I'm enjoying the over-the-top obnoxiousness. I'm enjoying the fan service. I'm enjoying everything about that show. I love it, and I'm so, so thankful that it came at this time, because there's been so many bandwagon animes lately that kind of seem all the same and things like that. And so it just feels really refreshing to kind of get a new but old feel. You know what I'm saying? Like the simplicity of, I guess, some of the drawings and stuff like that, and then it goes over the top when there's fight scenes. I just love it. So I'm thankful for Kill la Kill right now.
Brian?
If I had to pick one, my all-time, like the one that I would be thankful for, I would say Samurai Champloo, because it's an excellent show. Love the fight scenes. I'm huge on fighting. I'm huge on fighting, huge on swords. And then they not only combine great characters who are memorable and fight scenes, but they also include some of the greatest music that you'll ever want to hear out of a series. Out of just anything that could possibly make you want to download a CD or make you want to download like an MP3. It's one of those anime that anyone can get into, I believe, because it sticks straight to the point, but at the same time it gives you a little bit of a cliffhanger here and there. Not too much that it makes you, it drives you crazy, but at the same time it makes you I wonder what the next episode is like. I wonder what the whole plot, the end game is. So that was one of the first ones I had ever gotten into, and I fell in love with every main character, because they had like such a contrast, but at the same time they showed you that even if you have a difference of opinion or difference of personality, you can come together and form a dynamic that you don't really see in anime too often, or characters, or people, period. So that's definitely one I would have to stick with.
Mine per se, like I'm stuck in between two right now. One's kind of silly, one's a more serious one. The more serious one I would have to say with Cowboy Bebop, because it showed that anime can in fact be serious. Like, this is like one of the very first adult animes I've ever watched, because that was when Toonami and Adult Swim started showing. I was like, wow, anime can actually be this. Because before then, all we saw was maybe like some Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, things like that, just kind of weird stuff like that. We had Big O too, which was actually a really good one, but I couldn't understand it back then. But Cowboy Bebop was amazing to me, because it actually showed that we can be serious. We don't have to be funny and do slapstick and have giant sweat bubbles coming out of our heads and falling on the ground for no reason whatsoever. First time taking anime seriously. And the other one I was kind of stuck into is, I hate to say it, but it's panty stocking and garter belt.
Thank you.
It's back to just having fun with anime. Because at first it was an issue for me that it kept going between pop-up girl animation to real stylistic looking realism, and it's like, wow, it brought back my childhood, but still treated me as an adult. Nice. Any way to explain it that way, it caught my attention. My friend brought me onto my roommate brought it onto me, and I loved it, and I'm waiting for season 2. It is so funny and just great to me. I'm so thankful that I actually watched it, because I would have never watched it on my own, because it's called Panty Stocking and Garter Belt. Oh great.
Yeah.
Oh great. Chubby people's being weird again. Why not? That's what I thought if I didn't see it before. So I think that's it for today. Thank you once again for joining us for the Rebel Podcast. I'm Judge B.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Camille.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will probably do this again some other time. I think the next one should be, since Camille kind of brought it up too, when does fan service or ecchi go too far?
Yeah. I'm going to be one of those people who. Never mind. We'll leave it for next time.
It's a cliffhanger. Join us next time for what Camille says is the greatest fan service ever.
Oh, that's going to be a hard one.
Same podcast time, same podcast network.